Welcome to Bias Bash. I'm Lauren Green. The Wednesday shooting at an historic black church in South Carolina is the main headline for media outlets nationwide. While the story has focused on suspect Dylann Roof and his background, some in the press are quick to turn the situation political, talking about gun control, for instance, leading many to question whether there is a rush to judgment right after a story breaks. Here with her thoughts is Fox News contributor Judy Miller. Welcome.
Hi, Lauren.
Yeah, everybody's trying to figure out what this is about. It's the gun violence, it's the video games, it's racism, it's all these things. But is the media just rushing to find answers?
Well, I think immediately after a tragedy like this, people rush back to the comfort zone that they know. And if people are gun activists, they say this had nothing to do with guns. If you're critical of the widespread access to guns in this country, you immediately say it's because he had access to weapons. But that's not really what's going on here. I think in this case, Dylann Roof is unusual in that we do seem to know that even though people are assumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, that it looks as if he did this. And if initial reports are correct, it seems that he's acknowledged that he did this. But I think what really interests me is we're still finding out who he is and why he did this. And it's going to be days and weeks of reporting about Dylann Roof and what happened. What we know already is disturbing. We know that he spoke for several months about his desire to do something like this. And his friends, or the people he spoke to, thought that he was joking. So that raises the whole issue of community responsibility for something like this.
There's always these red flags that all of us ignore.
Yes.
But there is this need in us to understand why.
Exactly.
I mean, this is kind of what's behind the media sort of rushing. Well, it's the video games, it's the racism, it's this.
I think you have all of these elements here. I mean, clearly this is a very disturbed young man with a very traumatized childhood. I think you pointed out earlier, Lauren, that he had moved around a lot as a child. He came from a divorced household. There are lots of people like that in America. They don't go out and kill people in churches. I think what gives this story its resonance and drama is the fact that he went into a church and he sat there for an hour before he pulled out a gun to shoot people. And that's just horrendous, coming on top of the debate we've already been having about race, about whether or not people are treated differently because of their skin color or religion. I think this is the case that kind of brings all of these elements together, which is why people automatically rush to judgment when they think they have answers that at the moment we still don't have. We need facts right now.
That's the chilling part that you bring up, though, that because in our sense that when somebody does this, we think it's because they don't know anybody like that they've demonized them and because there's to justify their actions against them. But when you sit in a room with them, preaching obviously the gospel, and them welcoming you into their home, you would think that that kind of relationship would quell any kind of hatred you had, and yet it didn't.
It definitely didn't. And even when people were pleading for their lives, he made this incredibly racist and horrible statement about, you raped our women. This is clearly someone whom we need to know a lot more about. A number of my friends have already said, those who oppose the death penalty, I oppose the death penalty, but in his case, I'm going to make an exception. We don't yet know enough about this young man to know anything about what triggered this terrible event. What we do know, and what I found interesting, was that the president made a statement yesterday that was quite different from other things that he's spoken about. He began a litany of long incidents that have troubled him as president, as a black president, the first black president of America, but he sounded almost tired and resigned to a Dylann Roof and the incident that took place. And if ever there's a moment for a speech to bring us together, and that is what Obama's good at, this is the moment. So I will hope at some point that we would stop rushing to judgment, concentrate as reporters on uncovering facts about him, about his family, about his circle of friends, about what motivated this, And then we can begin to have a real debate about all the things you've been talking about, the video games, the access to guns, race, where skimming the surface of those topics in this country.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Judy Miller.
Thank you, Lauren.
If you want to hear more media analysis on this topic, catch Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and again at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.